Christian Gudigeist's 2025 heist sequel Den of Thieves 2, Pantera saw Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson, Jr. return in their cop and robber roles from the original Den of Thieves, but finds the two on the same side of a high-stakes international heist. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera hits theater with a more positive reception than its predecessors, with a Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score much higher than the original Den of Thieves. After the relatively gritty original, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera is a more complex and polished heist story that further develops the relationship between Nick and Donnie. The narrative begins with Nick leaving family court, implying that he was getting divorced, losing custody of his kids, and was very likely due to pay alimony to his wife. That provided sufficient motivation for him to use his authority as a law enforcement officer to continue investigating Donnie after he escaped with the money from the original heist of the LA Federal Reserve, and he tracked Donnie all the way to Nice, France. He reveals that he's not there to bust Donnie, but rather to join his team of highly trained specialists from across Europe, known collectively as the Panthers. After proving himself to both Donnie and the Panthers, Nick replaced two members of the team after a drunken nightclub fight, and bonded with Donnie over their similar backgrounds that ultimately led them down two separate paths. After days of meticulous legwork after months of previous planning, Donnie, Nick, and the three remaining members of the Panthers execute an elaborate heist of the main vault at the World Diamond Center, in the process stealing back a rare pink diamond that Donnie had previously used as a way into the vault, and that belonged to the Sicilian Mafia. After barely escaping the authorities in Nice, the Panthers are ambushed by a team led by their two former members, and are ultimately trapped. However, they manage to escape with their lives and with their haul after their assailants are taken out by the Mafia, who seek their property back from Donnie and Nick. The Panthers appear to get away scot-free, and meet as a group to celebrate with Slobodan, the mastermind behind the group. However, their celebration is interrupted by the Pantera Task Force, the law enforcement agents whose job it was to hunt down the group of thieves. Den of Thieves 2's big Nick twist, why he betrayed the Panthers. The movie's ending saw Nick reveal he was still a cop. Gerard Butler holding a gun in Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. The Pantera Task Force finally catches up with the Panthers at a seaside resort as they all celebrate over their massive score with Slobodan, the gangland boss who greenlights all their missions. Caught red-handed with the evidence, they are all hauled away immediately, but Nick is released by Hugo, the task force leader he was first in contact with and later met at a church with his children. Nick is revealed to have given up the Panthers to the task force despite appearing to be a legitimate part of the team through the entire heist process. Nick's betrayal reveals that despite what appeared to be legitimate bonding not only with Donnie but with the entire Panthers team, he remained a cop at heart. Interestingly, he appears to be genuinely conflicted once he's released by Hugo, and doesn't appear to enjoy the team's arrest at all. It's evident that Nick got in far deeper than he intended to with Donnie and the Panthers, and may have even truly intended to break bad and assist in the heist, but somewhere along the line he decided to stay true to his background. The Mafia break Donnie out of prison and recruit him. Donnie's work on the World Diamond Center heist impresses the Sicilian Mafia. O'Shea Jackson Jr. standing over a table and staring in Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. The airplane hangar heist that Donnie executes at the beginning of Den of Thieves 2, Pantera is just the first step in his ultimate plan to rob the World Diamond Center. He robbed the plane to get the real diamonds that it carried, which would help him pose as a West African diamond dealer and give him a legitimate route into the WDC. Unfortunately, the diamonds that he robs from the plane, including a massive, seemingly rare pink diamond, belong to the Sicilian Mafia, who eventually discover that Donnie was responsible. The mafioso snatch both Donnie and Nick for an oceanic threat against their lives if they don't return the pink diamond, which acts as a major motivator for both to pull off the heist. When they are trapped by their former teammate Marco in the mountains outside Nice, it's the Mafia that saves them. Once the pink diamond is returned, they follow a sort of criminal code of honor and assist them in escaping. Once Donnie is imprisoned after Nick turns on the Panthers, it's those same Mafia members who ambush Donnie's prison transport, with helicopters in broad daylight, no less, and break him out of custody. He's transported to Sardinia, where he meets the protected and hidden Mafia Don known as the Octopus. Donnie is presented with the opportunity to work directly for the Mafia, as the Octopus was extremely impressed with the World Diamond Center heist. Did Nick help break Donnie out of prison? He certainly seemed to be in on the plan. Mafia helicopters attacking Donnie's prison transport in Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. Before Donnie is moved out of the prison in Nice, Nick takes him into a room for a one-on-one chat, where he reveals that most of what he said and did as a member of the Panthers was genuine. It's implied that their one-on-one conversations in particular were truthful, but even if they might be more alike than different, a tiger just can't change his stripes. Nick appears to regret his decision to turn Donnie in, and that guilt might have played a role in Donnie's escape. If Nick was the one responsible for moving Donnie out of the prison to be transported elsewhere, then he may have done so with the blessing of the Mafia, or at least the assumption that they would be coming for Donnie when he was en route. While it's never specifically revealed, Nick may have actually broken bad after turning the Panthers in, and could be working hand in hand with the Mafia moving forward, as he certainly seems like he was in on the Mafia's plan to break Donnie out and get him working again.